Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Do Our Daily podcast. Today, for episode 5, I am joined by my fellow co host, Bastian.
Hello, everyone.
And we have the pleasure today to welcome in our recording studio the great Igor.
Hello.
And as always, I am your second co host, Lafayette Tiki.
We've managed to find ourselves a moderator this time.
Yes, fellow dad and moderator of the website since the registration have opened again. So I think no one is better placed here to introduce Igor than himself. So why don't you introduce yourself briefly to our audience, Igor?
Yeah, so I'm Igor. I'm 25 years old. I've been drawing for a while now. I think I've joined Dad like in December or maybe January from last year. No. Yeah, it was early 2020. So yeah, I've been like having streaks sometime and sometimes not. And like in a week, I will be at school in a 3D school for video games. And also I've been like in some kind of atelier, like co-working space with other artists lately, like for a year.
Okay, you've been on that for like 9 months, something like that now?
Yeah, around this.
Yeah, he's quite a new recruit and already has done so much.
Not of the freshest batch, but still relatively new in the grand scheme of things. You've said that sometimes you have a streak, sometimes not. What do you mean by that?
Sometimes I take breaks. Like I've been doing 2-week breaks at some point, and sometimes I've been like having a 3-month streak. I think it was like my highest. Yeah, I think I had like 90 streaks, something like that. I just don't post that much because I'm busy with life, I guess. So I don't take it that hard if I miss a day or a few.
Had you considered lowering your frequency before?
No, I didn't thought about it, but maybe I should. I probably end up doing this if I'm too busy with school.
Yeah, since you mentioned that you will be doing school, I think something, I don't know if you necessarily have to go weekly, but uploading not every single day might be a way to do something and still keep your streak without needing to be taking breaks here and there, or oh no, losing your streak again just because you had a class that you had to attend to and you couldn't draw or something like that. At least this has happened to me before.
Why did you take breaks? Like, was it too hard, or did you just lose motivation?
I was with my family and I wasn't in a good place to it was a different, like the days were different but when I'm alone and I can plan things like I want.
You didn't have like your setup. You didn't have like the time to draw, basically.
Yeah, and like not in a good way. Like
Yeah, you weren't in your usual setup.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, understandable. A thing when you have long streak is that you start to plan things ahead, but sometimes you just can't. Taking a more general approach and going back to the general introduction, how would you introduce yourself as an artist? If someone asks you, so what do you draw, or what kind of art do you make? What would you tell them?
I think I will tell them that I like bright colors and that I have like some different art styles. Like I also do black and white with like hatching. I also do pixel art.
Is there a particular medium that you like to work in, say pencils or painting with a particular type of paint or something?
I think I've been enjoying like black pen and just doing strokes with it. Like I said, like hatching and really black and white, like white background and black lines. Really basic stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting because looking through your gallery, that's the thing that I was looking forward to do the interview because it's very diverse. Compared to the other dads we've interviewed so far, you could take two submissions from your gallery that are like 2 days apart, and they would look like two different people did them. I think it's good that you're this. You have such a large, such diversity of things that you're interested in. Not just don't stick to one thing. But I think a lot of people know you here as art related. Like they know you for the pixel art. When I think when I think of Igor on that, I think about pixel art because we don't have a lot of pixel artists on that. I think that's one of the things that help you stand out.
Or I would say, that we do have people here and there who do some pixel art or that know how to do some pixel art, but they don't seem to do it that frequently.
Yeah, I've been doing like trying to mix some techniques because like I've tried to do some kind of pseudo hatching on pixel art lately. I don't know if I joined this submission to the. Yeah, I think I posted it on DAD.
I see one with balls and geometric shapes.
Yeah, usually that's what I do when I'm bored. I think it's this one that I'm talking about.
Very interesting. Looks like a quite particular style, I would say. At least I don't remember seeing pixel art, that has this hatching kind of quality to it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Also, speaking of that, one thing that I noticed when you said that Igor's gallery is quite varied, I was just looking at it and it caught my attention that this particular submission looks to me a little bit like a xilography. Have you ever done anything like that before, Igor?
No, I tried to do some like plan out stuff for serigraphy. It's a vectorial shape that you print out afterwards.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I'm not very sure if everyone is too familiar. But don't worry, we'll just put up some examples.
Yeah, you do seem to both like traditional and digital and experiment a lot. So I think that's a good thing. That clearly does make a difference from other people we've interviewed who are either more comfortable with traditional or more comfortable with digital. Does it come from uncertainty, like you haven't found the one you prefer yet, or is it just that you like both and you don't want to limit yourself?
I think it's like I have trouble with like digital painting, so I try other way to do digital stuff. Also, I think it's come from not really knowing where to commit. I don't see myself doing one particular thing.
Maybe you get bored a bit if you do the same thing for too long.
Yeah, if it's for a project or something, maybe I won't get bored, but sometimes I jump from one media to another. Yeah.
You said that you've been drawing for a while. When did you start to draw exactly, if you can remember?
I think I had like some periods of my life where I draw a lot and some others where I didn't at all. Like when I was a teenager, I think I totally skipped drawing for a few years. But then I came back to it, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And then I tried to make it seriously. If you take like the serious definition, I think it was like, 3 or 4 years ago.
That would be kind of like when you started getting serious about it.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. Oh, so when you were 19, 20, something like that.
It was like because I was doing some kind of basically it's an exam to be able to work at movie theaters. So while I was doing this, I picked up drawing, and then I decided to sign up at an art school next year. So I did 1 year of that, and then I dropped, but I still got like a good internship, and then like it's been 2 years where I just how do you say?
As your main interest.
Yeah, but without formal training, like.
Self-taught.
Yeah.
But like when you started drawing while you were studying to work at the movies, was it like did you realize that you like to draw, or have you always in the back of your mind wanted to draw?
Yeah, I think it was like a slow realization that I wanted to do that because I've been doing like requests on various boards. Yeah, it was more like I wanted to draw for people. Like if someone asked me to draw, I would do it. And then I realized that I also wanted to draw my own things.
I think Yeah, request threads are a good way to get started with other people's vision and to kind of challenge yourself to draw things that you wouldn't have normally thought about. So I think, yeah, that's a good, even after a starting, that's a good starting point, but even when you continue your career, I think that it's always good to, as kind of a training exercise.
Do you particularly enjoy drawing things for other people or stuff that other people have suggested that you do?
Yeah, but at the same time, there's some kind of pressure that can be exhausting. Sometimes I'd rather just do my thing and go at my pace. I don't feel bad about being slow and then sometimes eventually drop out some stuff I wanted to draw for someone else.
Like you always did it as a free thing, as a volunteer thing.
I've did a few commissions, but like it wasn't worth it because the amount of stress and talking and stuff like that. I would rather do like even if it's the same amount of work. If I know it's people don't expect much from me and I can deliver whenever I want, it's better for me.
You have a hard time handling all the stress and all the negotiation with the client.
Yeah. That's why I'm looking more for like a full-time job at a studio or something. I think it will suit me better.
Is that what your internship was about?
It was, I didn't draw during this internship. It was at a publisher. Basically, they were like translating webcomics and then printing them. So it was more like on InDesign, preparing like the actual, like preparing the files and then printing it out. Yeah, and also I had like to vectorize stuff. Like the initial webcomic was pixelated and I had to vectorize it.
You had to vectorize the entire comic.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds exhausting as hell.
That's the kind of work you give to an intern.
I don't know if you're familiar with like the Dolan stuff meme that was around for a while. So basically, it's like a comic based on that. I mean, the same kind of aesthetic. So it's just really ugly. So I don't really care if it's vectorized poorly.
How is this thing called?
Dolan.
Oh, Dolan. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
do you have like any remains for that? Do you have like any work left on your computer?
I don't think so, but it's usually maybe I will just show you the link.
Can you find it online? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really poor taste.
Yes, ironic online newspapers.
Yeah, and like poorly written with Comic Sans and
Yeah, with Comic Sans and obvious
Ooh.
typos.
Ooh, boy. Oh, this is rough.
Oh, that was pretty recent, I see, because topical jokes about COVID, huh?
I can definitely see how the guy who drew this had like a character template.
yeah.
And he used like a fill bucket and just like changed the shirt.
I mean, yeah, it's ironic. It's ironic.
He's quite good at doing like caricature. I don't know what's the word.
Yeah, caricatures.
I'm not really able to understand much, but it's like the writing good.
Yeah, I mean it's ironic, a bit of edgy jokes, but yeah, it's kind of like the second degree Dolan comics. Yeah, but I mean he's been doing it since 2013, so is it really ironic? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that really helped you, like the experience you had there, but
I think it's more of like a network thing. Like I got to meet a lot of interesting artists there. Like all the comic artists that they were working. I mean, I can send you the link as well. Like basically, it's like some kind of underground publisher, but also some of the authors that did comic books for them are quite known. So it was a good experience, I guess. Like I don't know if you're familiar with like American webcomics, stuff like Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal from Zach Weiner. They did translate it. Also like
oh, okay. Oh, so you worked like for the whole network actually.
yeah, I did some mock-ups, I think, and like I was also sending packages, like Like whenever someone was ordering something online, we put the book in an envelope and stuff like that.
I can't really think of other better places to find contacts, because like editors are like, it's their whole job to be in contact with good artists. So
Oh yeah, also maybe you know Oglaf,
yeah.
or as I said, Perry Bible Fellowship, I think stuff like that, but that got translated and printed.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a very good entry door to like. I hope that the relations you got there will earn you some jobs or something.
Yeah, it's not really what I'm aiming for right now, but yeah, it's still nice to have this kind of contacts, I guess.
Do you like the work, or was it a little bit more like they'd go like, intern, come here, do this?
Oh, it was really fun there. It's how do you say? Basically, it's an extension of the publisher's house. So he lives right next to it, and they even like have some kind of garden with hens and rabbits and fish, like some kind of. It's a fun place, I guess. And I had good memories there. But also, when I started, there was like a comics festival going on. So I spent the first day like basically keeping a stand where people were buying books during the event.
Oh yeah. How was that experience for you?
I think it was good for someone who had a first year in arts and not really good at drawing. I think it's good because I mostly learned software, so which is always nice, like Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator.
Yeah, that could be seen as like the less interesting stuff, but that's still a starting place. And I guess that's good to get these things out of the way first, so you have a strong basis, and then you can do the things you actually enjoy.
Seems like it probably give you a good foundation.
Yeah, like the girl who talked to me about it said, yeah, it was good if you're in first year, but like you want to do some more interesting stuff if you're already really good at drawing. But I did enjoy it.
Did that because earlier we're talking about that soon you're going to go to a school for games, something like 3D maybe.
Yeah, it's 3D modeling for video games.
Yeah, did it like did like your internship help you get in, or?
No, I don't think the only requirement for this school was to have like 2 years of studies or experience before it. Yeah, it was part of it, but
How did you end up deciding to go study 3D modeling?
because I wanted to get a job in the video game industry as soon as possible, and I think for 2D artists it's like way harder.
Yeah, I've heard before that doing 2D for games is not particularly easy because there's a lot of competition and it's not necessarily well paid in most cases, while apparently if you do 3D, it's much more accessible.
Yeah, that was some are getting paid well in 2D. Like a friend of mine is really has a good job, but yeah, you need to be really good, and I'm not. So for now, I think it's way faster to learn 3D and get a job.
So you're planning to learn 3D with this school, or do you have like past experience with 3D?
No, I didn't really learn 3D before, but part of the courses are like 2D art as well, so I'm already ahead for this. I'm not really worried about having to spend much time learning 2D, so I can just focus on the 3D courses.
Maybe the courses will like try to help you transition, like use the skills you've learned for 2D for 3D as well.
Yeah, that's how I think it will be, because they are used to people coming from various background. And
Will that be like is that like an online school? Because I know a lot of schools that are like offer to make you be able to work in game companies are online schools. So
I know this one is at a campus. Like basically, they have two. Like there's another class that is more about level design and game design, and also another one about programmation, but like it's more like a 5th year of study.
Oh yeah, like a master degree.
Yes. So the two others are like 3 years after graduating. And like we have 6 months of courses and then a few months where we actually create a video game with teams. And then you have to find an internship for the last month.
Damn, that sounds really quick.
Yeah, I don't want to be to sound like pessimistic or anything, but do you think you will still have the time to draw 2D for yourself, despite being in school where you have to do 3D mainly?
It depends. Like some exercises will be about drawing things 2D, but I don't see myself being very active on that during this year.
Yeah.
So don't worry about me.
No, I will inevitably. I can't help it.
I have 2 questions for you, Igor. Have you done any kind of 3D experience before, as in, like, you've tried to learn some kind of software, or have you tried working in any kind of 3D environment? And have you done sculpting before?
In a way, I've done like traditional 3D. Like I've been doing plushies, like with tissue or textile. Like basically, I was cutting in like soft materials and then sewing it together. And
Like patchwork, kind of.
yeah, I don't know if I have any pictures of that, but I also have been doing like dioramas. It was with my class. We have done like some kind of background for a stop motion movie.
So you could say that you mostly have some, near sculpting traditional experience then.
Yeah, but not software.
Have you worked around with something like clay before?
Yeah, as well. Like I've done some sculpting like this.
Have any of these experiences inspired you to do 3D, Igor?
Yeah, I think apart back when I was doing plushies, I kind of wanted to also do them in a video game way, if that makes sense.
So you started thinking of them as possible characters for a video game.
Yeah, some kind of AP.
Right, so there you have it, everyone. Igor is going to produce the new Viva Pinata.
Almost 20 years in the making. But beside that, do you pursue any other hobbies, or did you try other creative hobbies that are not related to like making art? Something, maybe music, maybe writing. Any other hobbies in general? Maybe video games, since you seem interested in the subject.
Yeah, I've been playing like card games, like Magic the Gathering. What else? Like video games. I've been playing like Super Smash Bros. Melee. Also some kind of guilty pleasure, which is like League of Legends.
No, it's okay. It's there are lots of that who play MOBAs. You don't have to feel ashamed.
I still do. I've been also playing like some more solo games like Spelunky, or lately I've been playing like Baba Is You, like the puzzle game.
Ah, yeah. I would have thought that you would have played more like games with more classic looks, like 8-bit things, as inspiration for your pixel art. But since you're kind of moving away from that, maybe not.
Actually, I'm creating a game.
Yeah, I've seen that. I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, it's not really complete, nowhere near completed, but it has like a limited palette, and because I'm using an engine that's pretty low specs and limitations. It's called a Pico 8. Maybe you've heard about it.
Ah, yes. I know some people use it because they like the limitation. Feels more like working as they were in the olden days of pixel art.
What's the game about?
It's about like basically you're some kind of cube of slime trapped in a dungeon. If you played like games like Binding of Isaac or
The first Zelda reminds me. Like, it reminds me of the first Zelda game.
yeah, it has a top-down view.
It's kind of like a dungeon crawler, right?
Yeah.
Or like a roguelike.
It's both of them
Hmm.
with some kind of puzzle feel. Because right now I just made like the puzzle mechanics, but not the fights yet. So yeah, really is just a puzzle game right now.
And that's like totally in your free time, totally a passion project.
I'm wondering if I can manage to pitch it to my school and it's being like one of the free games we end up doing during the year.
Ah, yes. I do imagine that the game will be enriched by the things you will learn in school.
Yeah, because I'm stuck with a lot of things, and I think doing it in 3D will be like so much easier.
Ah, sure. Yeah.
How far into the process of making the game are you?
Really at the beginning, I guess, because I still have a lot of content to make, a lot of how do you say, like algorithmic to figure out. Yeah, I really need to do a lot of things if I want it to be like how I intended it to play in the first place.
Do you have everything planned out?
I know what my end goal is, but yeah, I don't know how much time it will take. And maybe I will be helped by some people, like mostly on the programming side of things. I don't see myself like spending way much time. Like I feel like I've lost already a lot of time trying to figure out things, and maybe it will be way easier if someone helped me on this.
So you would like to do something like be the artist for the game and have a programmer to take care of all the functional bits.
Maybe, but at the same time, I like it being a solo project, so not sure how it will end up.
Regarding the more artsy approach, I wanted to ask you where or who do you get your inspirations from, and what like are there like specific things, not especially arts, but general projects? What inspires you to draw? What motivates you to draw the things you do?
I think I want to create some kind of setting. Like I like doing series, like when you stick to a theme, and like a media, and do several drawing with the same, either the same theme or the same, the same, like just like Inktober or like the challenge we have on that. And yeah, I think what attracts me in video game is that you're creating a world basically with your stuff in it.
You want coherence to make like a fresca or something that like you can look back at and be like, yeah, that's a coherent whole I made something like like a trip, like an experience, like a story thing, kinda.
Yeah, I also see myself maybe doing board games. Yeah, I've tried doing some.
Well, I know in game schools, especially in level design school or game design school, they use board games as a starting point, and sometimes do exercises like, oh yeah, do create your own board game. So yeah, makes sense.
Oh, sorry, I was going to ask if you play mini board games or tabletop games of some sort.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot board game because like we have a group of friends who are really into that, and even like in the town I'm at, there's a lot of place where you can play game and have a drink. Not so much lately, but we used to do that a lot.
Yeah, I know about those kind of like bars where you can play board games.
So it's like a board game bar.
Yeah, basically. That's how you call
Oh, that
them.
sounds very fun.
Yeah, that's literally how you call them.
Yeah, also I have like a friend of mine who did a lot of illustration for games. Like he did at least 50 or 60 games, something like that. Quite a lot. And like some of them also did like one or two games.
What things did they illustrate?
Which one?
Oh, your friends that work for the board games.
Maybe there's a website for it. Like
Did they do something in particular, or did they illustrate the entire game, as in, doing every drawing that...
sometimes it's just the box, I think. And sometimes it's like, the box art and then the cards inside. Like the numbers, the font in some extent.
That's like pretty interesting work. Have you considered doing something like this before? Or are you more into the game creating aspect of the board game?
Yeah, I think that's my issue is that sometimes I'm more interested in like the game and level design side of things for board games and video games. And yes, it's hard to know where I should stick, if I should just do the art or just do the mechanics. It's like some kind of trouble I've been having during jams. Because I've been to a few of these, if you know about it.
Which game jams have you participated in?
There was one in like my city where I just went there and like we did some kind of the theme was zero trash, so we made some kind of fighting stuff with where you have to like there's trash everywhere, like on you're walking on some kind of island of trash, and there's like monsters made of electronics and stuff like that attacks you. But and then I have also did some kind of very rural kind of game, like poor taste thing. What else? Yeah, like some of them were online and some of them were in person.
Doing a game jam in person sounds like a pretty cool experience.
It was nice. And for me, it can be easy if like I know what assets my team needs. If they just tell me like do this stuff, and so on, it can be easy for me, and I like it. But sometimes it's harder if they don't communicate what they want the game to look. Or yeah, it can be like communication is way easier when you're in person, obviously.
Well, it might be a hard one. So I asked it to everyone on the podcast. So take your time to answer. What is the piece of art you have made that you're the most proud of?
Maybe it's my like the one I did for Long Q. Basically, I drew his OC, like the girl with the skateboard. I think I like this one.
Yeah, I see this one. I really like it too. And for a while, it was like your profile picture, I think.
Yeah.
And for a while, like I saw it, and every time I was like, "Oh, that's Lonku." Oh, but no, oh no, that's not in that category.
Maybe it was rude of me to like use it as a profile picture.
No, I think it's okay. I did like.
It was confusing, yeah, I think.
Yeah, did like Lonku like it? Did you show them?
Yeah. It was like it was from some kind of secret Santa at some point.
Ah, it was a gift. It does look very, very cool. You really captured the simplification of Longu style. It's very appealing to look at.
Yeah, it makes me think a little bit of was it? Hold on. Which Mario game was it? You know, the one that looks like it's been drawn with crayons and stuff. Oh, it was Yoshi's Island.
Oh yeah, Yoshi's Island. Yeah, it makes kind of
Yeah, it has like some kind of felt texture to it.
Yeah, it has that, a very friendly and nice looking texture. It does look pretty soft. Now that you mentioned felt, it also made me think a little bit of Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Oh yeah, this one.
Are you familiar with that one?
Not that much, but I see like what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played it, but it looks like one of the most comfortable games I've seen in my entire life. It's like you see the game and you just want to like lay down on a yarn blanket to play it for like hours and hours.
Okay, so something that's been bugging me and I've been like meaning to ask you ever since we started. For other dads, like we asked on the Discord, if you want to be featured on the podcast, then like tell us, or like we directly ask people, people have wanted to see you, would you like to come on the podcast? But for you it was different. You stepped forward and sent me a DM saying that you wanted to be on the podcast. What made you want to be featured on the podcast?
I don't know. I think it was like a fun exercise for me, like because I'm not really familiar with this kind of thing, and it's kind of hard to me, but it's also what makes it interesting.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not easy for anyone of our guests. We have all been, as artists, we're not like naturally open. We're kind of all introverts in nature. So yeah, don't worry.
I've seen it as a challenge, basically.
It is. And I think that something very interesting is that every single dad we've interviewed has had a different thing to bring. Like no podcasts look similar, although we have like a similar basis, a similar we have a list of questions we want to ask, but despite the thing that we're following a similar agenda, like the podcasts don't look alike. I don't think it shows that we're using a specific agenda.
People tend to have a lot of very different things to say.
Yeah, they do.
And since we're talking about Dad, why don't you tell us, Igor, how did you first discover Dad, and when and why did you decide to join the site?
I think I discovered it like while browsing IC, like obviously, but like I noticed the last threads and didn't really understand what it was all about. At some point, I was on the old site. I don't remember which one it was, but it was different from the current one. But didn't really understand how it worked, and wasn't really ready to commit posting every day anyway. And then at some point I tried to see what it was, and then when I understood that I just needed to like create an account and post every day, and since I was like quite ready for it, I did it.
Good. That's kind of the same mentality that made you want to be on the podcast. You saw it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Interesting. You found it like just browsing through IC. So what's your like? Did you like were regular on IC? Like, did you use it often, or did you just happen on it one by chance?
Yeah, sometimes I didn't been there since a while, but yeah, sometimes I wanted to just browse. Like I don't really care about all the discussions that are there, but usually I just want to check out artists that are on there, because usually you don't see them anywhere else. Like or they have like some kind of social account with very few visibility. So
yeah, it's hard to find. Sometimes you find gems.
Yeah, that's mostly why I sometimes go on IC, but yeah, and sometimes for resources like
inspiration, references, tutorials.
Yeah, sometimes there's like interesting threads.
Yes.
Is there a particular general thread that you like to browse, or do you just look at what threads are available and you go into the ones that you like?
Usually I go for threads that have more pictures than replies. I don't know how to say it. Like if there's just a lot of text in the thread, I usually won't go there because just people are arguing.
Yeah. People tend to forget what an image board is.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm mostly there for the inspo thread, or sometimes there's an exercise in the thread, like do this, do that. I not always do the exercise, but browse the answers.
Now that you mentioned that, have you participated in any draw threads before?
I think so. I couldn't really say which one, but by draw thread you mean the one with a prompt, or which one?
Yeah, like, when people go like, hey, everyone, draw this, and they post a picture, or they, post a drawing, go like, draw it in your style.
Yeah, I think some of my submission or data are from these kind of challenges. Maybe because sometimes I did them earlier. Maybe it's not on that, or sometimes it's separate things. So maybe I didn't post it them. But yeah, I did a few of them, not that much. But like the one with the self-portrait kind of thing, like the artists, like basically the present yourself meme, where you draw yourself and like your bag with stuff in it. And I did this one.
Yeah, like the one that you did for Meet the Dad.
Yeah, Meet the Dad. Yeah. So I think I just took my participation in one of his thread and edited it a little bit to be more accurate, and then I posted it.
Now that you mentioned that, let's go back to that. And why don't you tell us something that probably a few people would like to know? how did you become a moderator?
There was an application form, kind of similar to the janitor one. I think if you're familiar with it, it was kind of similar. So yeah, basically, I said that I wanted to take part of like making the website enjoyable for everyone, because I think the issue with the current version is maybe it's not how do you say, like normie friendly.
I think I understand what you mean, in which that it still holds a lot from its 4chan roots, but could you elaborate on that?
It's more like a general feeling that it's not made for a broad audience, or compared to other websites, it's not as easy to browse. Like sometimes when I show it to friends, they are confused by the how do you browse in it. But overall, I don't think it's too much of an issue. But and like also what made me apply to this was what I was already spending a lot of time browsing submission and seeing what other people were doing. So as I understood it, it was what was asked by moderators was just to check if people were submitting correctly.
Did you have any experience in the past with moderating?
Yeah, I think on a Discord server, I was making sure that people were behaving correctly, and I didn't add any issue to source, so I basically did nothing special. But yeah, I kind of like the fact that like some places, how do you say, like there's some kind of influencement if people decide to troll or something.
Yeah, it's good to have a safety measures in place, because
Yeah, sometimes you don't need it, but you just never know if someone decide to show up and wreck things.
You would say that things such as moderators and rules are there particularly for those cases. You need them for the moment when someone fucks up.
Yeah.
Considering all of that, how has your experience with this site been like?
As a moderator, for now, it's basically approving new users submissions, and sometimes changing like content category if people didn't tag it correctly, something to questionable or explicit or stuff like that. But as a general user, I've been using. I think I was more serious, like I said in the earlier days, and I lost my streak because I had to go to vacation somewhere and couldn't post. Right now, I'm less involved. Like I don't care as much if I don't submit, because I still know that it worked well to getting back into having an habit of drawing regularly. So I think the job was done. So I don't really need it that much. But the challenges are still a fun thing to do. Yeah, that's how I would sum it up.
On that note, do you remember how your first day on data was like?
I think it was like quite. I wasn't sure if I did things properly. Like I posted. I remember my first submission, and there was like a lot of comments, and I I wasn't sure if it was like bots or something responding, because everyone was pasting the same initial comment or something like that. I don't know if we can find it, but yeah, basically it was. I think it was Kazu saying things, and everyone just copied our message in some way.
oh,
I didn't expect it as much people responding, so it was nice. And then I did different things, so maybe it was less. And also it was my first post, so.
your first post was interesting to look at and promising, though.
I don't know if you know about the Daily Speed Paint Facebook page.
Well, I do, but you can explain it to the audience.
Yeah, basically it's like you have 4 different prompts each day, and you have 30 minutes to complete it in a digital painting, I guess. Or maybe you can do it on traditional media and take a picture. So I think it's in the beginning. I think I did like daily speed paint things and uploaded them on that. Like it was I used that as a way to do this challenge every day because it was convenient for the 30-minute mark, and it's the kind of thing that are easier to me. It's more easy to me to follow a prompt than imagine something, I guess.
And that loops back to what you were saying earlier about drawthreads and how it helped you in the beginning because you were looking for ideas rather than applying your trying to develop your own vision. But and also let's loop back to what you said about liking challenges. Why challenges are I think you like on that. Moving on to the one last question about the moderating experience and the community. Actually, it's linked to both. How would you say is the communication between the different moderators, the members of the moderation team, and maybe the development team as well?
Well, we have like a channel on a private channel on the Discord, and so we talk about issues there. But honestly, I'm having trouble along the discussion because maybe it's a time zone thing, and also I wasn't really available lately because I was like on holidays without internet access. But yeah, we usually chat about like if we should what we should do about some submissions, for example.
And like, is there a lot of work? Like you talked about, mostly it's approving your user submission. Is there like a lot of submissions coming in?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, for me, at the time zone I'm at, it's like something between like 5 or 10 submission a day, maybe more. It depends.
Oh, I mean that's reasonable for a site about drawing daily.
Yeah, it's fine. Like before approving, we need to type some text in the form, and I like to have like a quick summary of what's in the picture, but it's not really necessary, I guess. Like unless you have a doubt if it's like it looks like it was under than 30 minutes submission or doesn't fit a challenge or something. So I'm not really like, honestly, it's not much, but it can be a lot if you're alone because like the work is split between like the 5-6 of us. I don't know how many of us check submissions, but for one person to do all the new submission, it will be a lot, I think.
But you did mention that on your time zone you are one of the only ones, so maybe like represents a lot of work for one person depending on the time zone.
Yeah, because Kazu still checks submissions, I think, sometimes. But I'm not sure well. I think sometimes it's Gaspier, I think, that is also around the same time zone, maybe. At least we usually like approve submission around the same time. And like some also obvious, how do you say, like peak of submission to moderate is like just before the rollover.
The busiest time.
Yeah, the plentiest of time.
These kids that keep forgetting to hand in their homework in the proper time.
Yeah, like just 30 minutes before. I've been guilty of this for a while.
A lot of people have been. Some people make it their trademark and lose their streak because of it.
I think like whenever I was like very late to submit and like just as a I ended up losing my streak a few days afterward anyway. But sometimes it's weird, like if you do it like early in the morning for me, you still check at some point if you already submitted today.
Yeah, yeah, that happens to me like every day. Like sometimes I like wake up in the morning and I'm like, did I submit?
Yeah, I have done that before in the past many times.
So, how do you feel? Like you can talk through your moderator viewpoint or through your normal user artist viewpoint. How do you feel about the DAD community, the threads, the Discord, the sites? Does the community feel welcoming to you?
like I said, I got like something like 8 messages, or maybe a little less. I don't remember, but like on my first posts, it was, as I said, I was like doubting it was all real people posting.
Yeah, I made a joke about bots. Yeah.
50% of people on that are not real.
I'm not really familiar with the threads because I don't browse I see much. But yeah, both Discords are nice. Even if I'm not really involved in them, it's still nice to can like knowing you can talk to people on other media because the current message system is like you can just post a message on a submission. It's not sometimes it's not ideal. Like
The main reason I'm asking is because Sebastian and I were talking about this before doing the recording. We've never heard your voice before today, and we like not judging anything. Don't take this in a wrong way. Just some people are more active in the community, and you are probably one of the less vocal members of the community. So I was wondering why was that like.
yeah, I think the easy answer is that I'm shy, a shy boy. I also didn't really add a proper microphone in a while. I wanted to join voice chat, but I couldn't.
You couldn't speak. Yeah.
But now that I have my headset working properly, yeah, would be more active in voice chat, I guess.
I look forward to it. But there's nothing wrong with being shy, of course. I don't force you to be something that you wouldn't want. And sometimes it's better to be shy than to just say cringe 24/7 like I do.
You know what this means, right, Igor? Since you're a shy dad and you're a representative of them that has been on the podcast, I'm sorry, shy dads, but that means that you will have to be on the podcast now as well. I
No
will be
excuses.
waiting for your application. But you know, since we're naming shy dads and potentially name dropping people, it's time for the names, I feel. So how about you tell us, are there any dads that inspire you particularly, or any dads that you like to look at or follow?
Yeah, I think like the obvious answer, the cute poster like Waifu, OP, Suga, Long Q, like they have like their own universe in a way, like which I feel really not able to be as creative as them in a way. Like maybe I'm still waiting for my drawing skills to be good before drawing things from my imagination maybe. And that's why I admire people that do like manage to still post things even if they are not like confident about how well they can draw.
Have you thought before about asking them for advice on doing, hey, how do I do cute posting? Or something of that nature?
I'm not sure if they can help me about it because for me I see it like it's a way of life in a way. Like yeah, maybe I could ask advice on color theory or composition or things like that. But for me, it's more personal. This kind of process of just drawing whatever you want, and yeah, kind of maybe they have like a process to do that. I don't know, but also I don't remember all the names, but like in the new people who joined, like some of them are really promising. Yeah, maybe I should just browse and remember one. Oh, also I don't know if he's still there, but I don't see him posting in a while. But Bertrand Faure was quite impressive. Like some of his stuff in grayscale was like good, like in traditional
Yeah. I really liked
pen.
him.
Yeah, he's been taking a rest from that.
Oh yeah, a long break, a long sleep.
Yeah, he had said in his last submission that he wanted to take a break and that he would probably be back sometime.
Yeah, his last emission was in June, so.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And the only the only comment is Guess being like, "I will miss you," sad face.
I think we all miss him.
We do.
Yeah, I saw some users are like, you always recognize their post, like Goblin. It's just so different than everyone else.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at submissions and Goblin's one is staring at me right now. I am rightfully afraid.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's the consistency is on point.
Yeah, Goblin has quite a particular style.
Sometimes I'm kind of lost with all these people. Like I don't always remember. Like sometimes I'm surprised to rediscover someone.
Yeah, I think it happens, especially with the influx of new users that we've been having. It's been quite hard for me to keep track of everything that's posted.
I can't wait to interview a new dad.
Oh yeah, that'll be definitely interesting. I think probably all users are very interesting in one way or another.
Oh, that could be the meaning of the podcast. Maybe we should make a podcast to show the diversity of the artists we have on the website. That could be an idea.
If only they weren't all so shy. Yeah, I'm calling them out.
You can. No one will listen to the podcast this far anyway. They just want to know if they're getting mentioned.
And probably the ones that might do are too shy to say anything about it. But that's enough. I'm not gonna throw more shit.
I think we're reaching the end, and that's pretty obvious.
Well, I think there is still a couple of questions that could be asked. One of them would be, Igor, tell us, has that changed the way you view your art?
Just the fact that I keep track of how much time I spend drawing. Like, even if sometimes I don't really do it, like I have at least some sense of how much time it takes me to do some things or whatever. So yeah, in
Has this helped you improve on your time when you're working on something? Like
yeah,
keeping track of the time helped you, learn where you need to go faster or what you can do to go faster and to take less time overall?
yeah. Obviously, it also helped me noticing like sometimes I post several submissions that are the same drawing but with extra steps, and yeah, you notice that you spent a lot of time on not the more important things. So yeah, maybe I should. I mean, it's and I mean I think I also have obviously improved overall since I started posting there. But I don't know if I look. I mean, obviously I look differently at what I posted there because I used to delete or destroy any evidence of previous drawings. But you can't really do that now.
You're obliged to expose your shame to everyone. Well, unless you're Jay and you want to nuke your gallery here and there. Why am I calling out everyone today? I need to stop before they come for me. Otherwise, the site will be gone in 10 hours.
Even then, it's not really nuke. Like there are still traces. Like if people like your art, they will probably save it.
Yeah, the website doesn't have like a like or a bookmark feature. So yeah, if you like something, yeah, better save it, I guess. Or just note the number somewhere. I don't know. The post number.
How do you look back on yourself before joining DAD? Like, what do you think are the differences of the you now on the you before you joined the site?
Yes, the thing is, I also had like I was basically a NEET anyway, so and I had like a place to draw. So in a way, I was already going to draw every day. I think not really every day, but I think that helped me to kind of make sure I was keeping my objectives, because it was already what I had in mind for this year, to just go there and draw.
Let's say, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, maybe I didn't like introduce myself as much. I don't remember like how much the other ones were talking about themselves, like in their previous year, like what they did before drawing. I don't know if it's relevant.
Oh, if you want to add anything to that, you feel welcome to.
Yeah, because like I think the past few years have been nice for me, because I like, even if I improved like at drawing, I also I think in social skills, I think I'm a lot better, and also like I've met a lot of artists. So like I said earlier about the publisher internship, where I met a lot of comic artists. I also met like people from animated movies or video game or stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's I don't know about other artists on that, if they are like, if they take that into account, if they want to like what they call making it, if they actually have some kind of network in a way, because I think it's a huge part of finding a job in, I mean, these kind of jobs.
Yeah, I think it varies a lot from dad to dad. Different dads are into different things.
Yeah, because yes, some of them just don't really care about like they see it as a hobby, whereas for me it's more like I want this to be my full-time job.
And I think that's interesting. That's one of the interesting things about the fact that the community is quite big now, is that some people do it as a hobby, some people do it because they seek work, and some people are in the middle ground and they don't know. No, I just wanted to say that this went well. You did great, despite being a shy boy. This honestly, yeah, I think we got some good content, very innovative from the thing we've got so far, and I hope everyone will enjoy listening to it.
All right. So, thanks everyone for listening to the DADcast episode 5. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the podcast. And thank you very much, Igor and Lafayette, for being here.
A pleasure.
You're welcome.
All right. All good.
Thank you, Bastian. Thank you, Bastian, for being here.
And, well, we'll be seeing you all sometime soon, episode 6, with whoever wants to be on it. Get ahead. Say it. Contact us. Come on, shy dads.
Well, I don't want to make any promises, but we might have already someone for episode 6. We'll see for episode 7.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, only destiny knows what awaits us. In the meantime, take care, everyone. And I don't know. I guess that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah. Finally.
Oh, yeah.